You know, I always love it when I almost do not go see a movie and then I decide to go see it and it ends up being one of my favorite things I saw of the whole year. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell. This is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we are going to be talking about the film The Ninth Life of Louis Drax. This movie is based on a book which I have not read, and I actually knew basically nothing about this movie going into it. I never saw a trailer to my knowledge, and so I went into this whole thing completely blind. I knew who some of the main actors were, but that's about it. I didn't really know what to expect with this movie. And so here is the general premise, if you are at all curious. Young kid named Louis Drax, he is on a picnic with his parents one afternoon, and he ends up falling off a cliff into the ocean and dies for 2 hours, comes back to life, and he's in a coma for the extent of this film. And a large portion of the film is dedicated to trying to figure out what exactly happened on that day, how he ended up in the sea, and who is ultimately responsible, and a lot of supernatural mysteries which go on behind the scenes. Jamie Doran plays the main doctor who's kind of helping out Louis when he's in the coma, and he is interacting with Sarah Gadon, who is Louis' mother, and their relationship is really interesting throughout the course of this film. I thought they both delivered very good performance. Jamie Doran you probably know from mainly 50 Shades of Grey, but he was also the Anthropoid earlier this summer. Very good movie, check that out if you can. And then we also have Sarah Gadon from, most recently, Indignation, which I saw earlier this summer as well. Both gave very good performances, and I really enjoyed their characters. The relationship was very interesting because you just got this kind of interesting vibe from Sarah Gadon's character in regards to just how she was acting after her son was in this coma. And at first it's kind of a natural reaction, and then she just kind of starts to do not typical things in reaction to her son being in a coma. And so I found it to be just a very interesting relationship which developed between these two people. Aidan Longworth plays the kid who is in the coma, and he actually has more to do than just lay sleeping in a bed. He has this other kind of story going on. We get to see his mental voiceover go on with like flashbacks to him with a therapist, and we get to see kind of what is going on mentally inside his head while he's in the coma, and he ends up interacting with this creature which he finds along the way, who is leading him to this discovery, this mental internal discovery. And it's a very interesting thing when that happens. I obviously won't get into it here, but his story, which was going on alongside the physical reality story, very, very interesting, and I really liked how they dealt with those. And then Aaron Paul's character is probably the most interesting character of this film, because a large portion of the time, characters are trying to make him out to be the kind of this possibly abusive father who just is hurting his kid and doesn't really care about the kid. But yet in every single flashback that we see with him with Louis, he is being like this fantastic dad who we can tell really cares about his kid. And so it's just this conflicting batch of information. We don't know if it's just Louis' perception of his father, which is kind of interceding maybe what his reality actually is, and as opposed to what Sarah Gadon is describing and things of that nature. And I just found that really interesting. I just got to see one character very villainized while another kind of had the essence of villainy but wasn't really being forced into that role, at least right away. As I said, this is a very interesting mystery-esque film because, again, we have the whole mystery surrounding Louis' fall and everything of that nature, and he seems like a very unique kid. He's very intelligent, and he can kind of figure things out very easily, at least in regards to his parents' marriage and other things around the world. And I found it to be very interesting as a kid. But then we also have this kind of supernatural element which is going on between him and Jamie Doran. And I just found that to be a very interesting thing. Eventually there's these notes which are seemingly appearing, looking to be written by Louis perhaps. Yeah, he's in the coma. And so there's just this whole mystery which continues to unravel throughout the course of the film, which I thought they just played out very, very well, and it's very, very effective, I thought. My only real issue with the film itself is that it did seem a little bit long. There are a few too many slow sections which kind of bogged down the film for me. I also didn't know how long it was going into it, so maybe that was part of it, which I didn't know if it was going to be an hour and 10 minutes or 2 hours and 10 minutes. Ended up being an hour and 48, I think. So there is that aspect, which is the only other thing I could really think of which bugged me about the movie. The ending reveal, when you get to figure out what exactly has happened to this kid and what happened on that day, it's all very, very interesting as it's revealed. And the way that it is discovered is also very, very fascinating. I don't know if it's realistic per se, but just the way that they do it, it's a very good performance from Jamie Doran, because he's kind of one of the central players who comes to this discovery and is important in making that discovery. And I will say this, there is an essence about the finale and a reveal of a certain character and just things in regards to Louis, which ended up having me honestly in tears by the end of the film, because it's just such a heartbreaking, touching ending, which just got to me emotionally for some reason. And yeah, so if you are a sap like I am, prepared to be kind of teary-eyed, at least by the end of this film, because yeah, I really, really like this movie. Like I said, it does have its slow sections, but the mystery element is very, very interesting. I really liked all the characters, all the performances were fantastic throughout this thing, and just the ending is just so good and wraps everything up so nicely, and you have consequences for certain characters' actions, and I just really liked seeing that, and it's just a very touching ending as well. I cannot recommend this movie enough. I definitely would say go and check this thing out if you can. I have no idea how many theaters it is in right now. I only found it in one close to me, and I just kind of stumbled upon it when I was checking out what movies to go see over the weekend, and I ended up going to this one, and it is probably one of my favorite films of the year so far. So guys, those are my thoughts on The Ninth Life of Louis Drax. Definitely let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Once again, if you so choose, I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.